Hi Planty Squad, my name's Carly and this is my channel, The Planted Carly Flower. I'm so excited that you're back here today for yet another wonderful planty video. So let's go ahead and talk today about my trailing plants in my collection. Now I'm going to go ahead and admit this is not every trailing plant that I have. I tried to pick my favorites and the ones that were trailing the most beautifully to me. So hopefully you guys like this video and you like my plants. So stick around and let's get right into it. Okay, so I have my list of trailing plants right here. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. I'm going to enter footage over my face or in the corner or something, whatever looks better at the time, so that you can actually see the plants, because a lot of them are hanging and just dragging them all upstairs would be like a nightmare, because that's where I film and most of them are actually downstairs. But I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a list of 7 plants here and I got some really great footage of all of them for you. But yeah, so let's start with my Philodendron Heteracium. This is one of my most favorite common plants in the world. It's absolutely stunning. I love it so much. It has grown by leaps and bounds over the past 6 months and it's trailing beautifully. The dark green of these leaves, I stare at this plant. I know it's super common, you can find it almost everywhere, but I stare at this plant like it's the most rare plant in the world. Like, I treasure this plant. If my house was burning down, it'd be one of the plants I'd be like, okay, you get the kids, I'll get the plant. I'm just kidding, I'd get my kids first. But you know what I mean. That plant just does it for me. It is beautiful. It's an easy care. I water it when it starts to get a little droopy. It doesn't mind if I wait a couple days to water it. It grows like a weed. It's absolutely stunning. I cannot say enough good things about this plant, and if you don't have one in your collection, what are you waiting on? Don't sleep on the Philodendron Heteracium, the heart leaf shaped philodendron. It's absolutely stunning and I cannot wait to hear about all your guys' heart leaf plants. Tell me all about your heart leaf philodendrons. I want to hear all those comments about how your plants look when you got them. Definitely let me know what you think of this plant, because I gotta tell you, it is a stunner. I've never had a more satisfying plant, both in the way it looks and in the way it grows. It's vocal for watering, it takes very light fertilizing, and it still grows like a champ. It does get some beautiful eastern light. It's hanging right next to a beautiful big eastern window, and it seems to be loving it there. I do fertilize it. Probably right now I was fertilizing once a month, but I'll probably step it up to every 2 weeks now that the winter has gone and the spring is upon us. I normally fertilize with fish fertilizer, with fish emulsion. I use the Harris Organic Fish Emulsion Fertilizer, but I have been using liquid dirt for the past, well, I want to say month now, and it seems to be doing really great with that. So absolutely recommend it, and it's doing really well. So next on my list is my Pictus Exotica, and this plant is everything like it sounds. It is exotic, it is beautiful, it is unique, and who doesn't love a beautiful speckled silver leaf? Like, for real, you cannot get any better than this plant. It's also one that's very vocal. The leaves will start to curl when it's thirsty, and this plant was so root bound for me at the end of this winter, I had to upsize it to a 8-inch pot from its 6-inch pot, and it was root bound. If you want to check me out on Instagram, I have the link in the description box down below, and you can see a picture of those beautiful juicy roots. I've never seen a plant so root bound, at least in my home. It was absolutely amazing. It was stunning. The roots were so healthy. I was so proud that this plant was growing so well and likes its environment so much. But as you can see, it's trailing a little bit and it's doing really well, and I absolutely love it. It does sit on top of my Mills boat in an eastern window. It gets several 2 or 3 hours of direct sunlight in the mornings, and it seems to really love it. Eastern light's not super strong and harsh, so it gets some nice gentle direct rays, and it's doing really well. So that is my Pictus Exotica, and definitely one of the top faves. My next would be my Philodendron Brazil. Now this plant has the most stunning markings for me. I have leaves that are almost completely neon green to a beautiful, beautiful dark and light green with some like cream on them. This plant is beautiful. It does hang on my wall in a bit of an eastern / southern exposure. I have 2 windows there that pretty much give it light, and it's in bright indirect. This one doesn't really receive any direct rays, but it's also one that's very easygoing. Most philodendrons are really easy care, and I highly recommend. It grows quickly. It's trailing after having it not even 5 months, I'd say, and I did get this from a number of places. I got the original plant from Hertz Gardens online, and I have added cuttings that I've gotten for free from other plant purchases since then. But for the most part, aside from a couple little clumps of cuttings that I've added to it, it is the original plant. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It's doing really well. It's happy where it's at, and I'm really stunned and blessed to have this in my collection because it's beautiful. I did not know I was going to love it as much as I did when I ordered it. It was just a really good deal, and I couldn't pass it up for a 6-inch pot, and I'm glad I didn't pass it up because it's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. The next one on my list is my String of Hearts. Now I know this plant has made a couple debuts on this channel before, but who can blame me? I currently have another pot of String of Hearts that I chopped from the one I currently have and put it in pond as a little pond experiment to see if it likes my environment in pond. And then of course I have my variegated String of Heart cuttings that have finally rooted and are now planted, and they're doing really great as well. Thank you, Allie's Plants. I'll link her down below. She does do trades on her Instagram sometimes, so keep an eye on her stories. I really enjoy my variegated String of Hearts, so thank you very much. Yeah, I definitely love this plant. It's also pretty vocal. When the leaves get soft and wrinkly, I go ahead and I give it a really good drink. It sits in my bedroom right against a southern window, and it gets lots of direct light throughout the day from southern exposure, and it absolutely loves it. It's turning all the leaves a beautiful silver color, and it's stunning. I can't get enough of this plant. It doesn't need to be watered too often. I find that the leaves get wrinkly every week and a half or so, and so it's really low maintenance, really easy care, and it grows like you wouldn't believe. I chopped it probably a month and a half ago to get my pot that I currently have in pond, and it's already just ready to be chopped again. Like, it grows so fast, it's disgusting. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have String of Hearts everywhere. The next String of Hearts that I cut off of it and root, I'm probably gonna have to try and trade, because what am I gonna do with all this String of Hearts? It's like insane. They're everywhere. The next one on my list of trailing plants is my Hoya SPAFF Bertonier. Now, this one gets confused with the Bilobata a lot, and when Costa Farms released it, they released it as like D73 or something like that. Hoya D73. This is actually Hoya SPAFF Bertonier. You can tell because the Bilobata has very smooth leaves, and the Bertonier has fuzzy leaves. This is the fuzzy leaf variety, and it's one of my absolute favorite plants. I did have this plant growing up a trellis, and I just recently decided that I don't like it climbing up the trellis. I don't feel like it was growing any faster than it was before. The leaves weren't any bigger than they were before I had it trellised, and I really do prefer it to trail. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna let it trail because I think it looks beautiful. So now I have a beautiful trailing Bertonier, and it's one of my fave Hoyas in the world. I know this is also considered a more common one, considering you can get it in big box stores from time to time, and it's really easily sought out on Facebook, not Facebook, I'm not even on Facebook, on Etsy and eBay, but I love it. I think it's great. Sometimes the more common Hoyas are the more beautiful ones, and this is a case where I definitely feel that to be true. It grows a lot. I do have it in soil, in terracotta. It's in my soil mix, which is linked up above if you want to watch my video on my soil mix, and I really enjoy it. In terracotta, I have to water it about once a week, maybe even a little more often, because of where it sits. It does sit right in the corner of an eastern and a southern window, and it does get lots of really bright light, and it's really warm in that corner during the summer, so you know, it dries out a little faster. Plus it's in terracotta, but yeah, it does really great there, so I would definitely recommend it. I do fertilize this plant with a foliar spray once every 2 weeks when I do fertilize it, and I usually use fish emulsion for this as well, but recently have been using liquid dirt and I have nothing bad to say about it. It works really well. Yeah, so that is the Hoya Spaff Bertonier, and I highly recommend it. Go check it out and get yourself one. My next Hoya on my list of trailing plants would be my Hoya Rebecca. Now this plant, you guys, be still my heart, this plant is gorgeous. I was recently someone tried to steer me towards trellising it. I'm thinking about it. I do know that it probably would grow a little bit faster if it was trellised. But man, I don't know. I love it trailing so much. I have been toying with cutting it as well and rooting another strand and putting it back into the same pot. But my brain tells me it would look beautiful as a fuller pot, but my heart is like, it's beautiful and long and trailing, and don't touch it, it's gorgeous. Ugh, and another thing is I'm so worried that I'll stunt its growth because it's popping out new leaves every like 2-3 weeks. Like, it's growing, and I know if I'm gonna chop it, now is the time because it's summer or spring and summer, and it's gonna grow anyways. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I chop the Rebecca and make it a fuller plant, or should I just let this long vine just tear away? I will mention this in your decision though, the back end of the plant is starting to get a tendril and pop out leaves, so it does look like the back end is going to start putting out a tendril, so I'll probably have a tendril coming out both sides. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Should I cut it? Should I leave it and let it continue to be this long trailing gorgeous one-stranded beauty? I don't know. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think I should do. But yeah, Hoya Rebecca, a stunner for sure. I know she's really easy to sun stress. I haven't tried sun stressing her. I actually really like the green leaves with the speckles, but you never know. Maybe I'll change my mind someday. She is in pond. I do fertilize her every 2 weeks and refresh her reservoir as needed, and I use my Dynagrow foliage for that. I will link it down below. And she seems very, very happy, and I hope she continues to be happy because she's a great one. And the last one on my list is my Hoya Crociana Splash. This is a very splashy plant. It has grown so much. It was just a little tiny, basically, stub when I got it, and now it is a big, beautiful, bushy plant that is just starting to spill over the edge of the pot. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is also in pond. I fertilize it at the same time as I do my Rebecca every 2 weeks with my Dynagrow foliage fertilizer, and it seems to be really loving it. I have given this plant liquid dirt a couple times, and it didn't seem to hate it at all. It still thrived and grew, so definitely an option for you if you have liquid dirt on hand. But those are the two things I've tried with it, is the Dynagrow foliage and the liquid dirt. It sits in my desk, on my plant desk, right in between a eastern and southern window. It does get some dappled light from both windows throughout the day, and it seems to be extremely happy with that. Definitely a stunner, definitely something that's great to have. It's also known as Hoya Crociana Eskimo or Splash, and we are not saying that anymore. The only reason I'm saying it here is to educate and inform. So if you see it labeled as such, it is the same plant, but since that is an insensitive term for the indigenous people up north, we will not be using that on this channel. It will be hereby known as Crociana Splash to me. Just encouraging you to also change your verbiage if that's something that you are currently saying. It has been upgraded to a better sounding and a better, more sensitive name for the people of the indigenous north. So yeah, absolutely a great plant starting to trail for me. I really, really enjoy it, and I think you would enjoy having one in your collection too. They're pretty common and easily sought out online. I know Unsolicited Plant Talks has them quite often. I got mine from the Secret Garden of Rare Plants or something like that. I will link it down below, and definitely a good one to have. I will try and link where I got all the plants down below. I will link my Dynagrow and everything else that you can need. But if you want any more links, definitely leave me a comment down below and I'll get that link to you if I can find it. Definitely check me out on Instagram. I'm super active on there. And I recently started a TikTok. I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm getting there. And I have been posting quite a bit. My TikTok, although I do plan to be a little bit of a mixed bag. I do plan on doing some weight loss and diet stuff along with plants, maybe some more kid-related, autism-friendly things. So yeah, if you're interested in a little bit of more of a mixed bag than I have on my Instagram or on my YouTube, definitely check me out on TikTok. Pretty much everything is under the Planted Cauliflower. You can find all of it under my name. Super easy to find. I have everything the same. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment. Definitely give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let me know how I'm doing. I really appreciate your feedback. It means the world to me that you take the time out of your day to interact with my video and to watch my video. And I hope you guys get to spend a lot of good quality time today with your plants. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your week. Thank you.